Hey, happy Wednesday, everyone. Hope you are doing well. It's a beautiful day this morning uh, here in San Diego. Not sure what time of the day it is where you are, but it's a beautiful day here. I hope you are doing well. Uh, Middle of the week. I hope you're enjoying your week so far. This is In the Raw, unscripted, unpracticed, unedited conversation. And Edgar Allan Poe was an American writer, very prolific writer in the 19th century. And he is known for writing his short stories. He was one of the first, or if not the first, writer to write about crime scenes and solving crimes and mysteries, and even a little science fiction back in that time. And so he is known for that. And he once wrote a story about a person who murdered somebody else. And this person was so proud that he murdered somebody, and he basically hid the body under the floor. In those days, the floors of houses were raised, and they were made out of wood. And so there was a gap between the floor and the ground, and so he placed the body under the floor of his house. And he was so confident that he had done such a great job that he invited the police over to his house. And and so when the police arrived, this man started to hear noises coming from the floor, like heartbeats and breathing, and it really bothered him. And as the police were there, they didn't hear anything, but this man, he could hear it escalate, or the noise was elevating, but the police didn't seem to hear anything. It got to a point where he couldn't take it anymore, that he confessed, and he said, "I killed this person, and the body's hidden underneath the floor." And so he confessed, and the police obviously investigated and arrested him. And this brings me to the word confession. Most of us commit our sins, or most of us do something wrong, and we are not quick to confess, unless something is happening, like with this man, and we start getting that remorse, or if we need to. But the Bible speaks to us and says that we should always confess our sins, that we should always be quick to confess our sins, because when we do that, we are blessed. It says if we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. So the Bible guarantees a good life, a blessing, guarantees forgiveness when we confess. The Bible also says, confess your faults one to another and pray for each other that you may be healed. So it's talking about confessing to one another also. It's important that we do that. It's important that we confess to God. It's important that we confess to each other, especially if we've offended somebody and that person is offended. We should confess to that person. The Bible also says, whoever conceals their sins does not prosper, but the one who confesses and renounces them finds mercy. So there's a lot of promise here. There's a lot of blessing in the Bible in terms of confessions. We should confess our sins and admit, and God will be merciful. God will forgive us. And I get it, so many of us, and I've been there, we don't want to confess our sins, or we don't want to say, yeah, I admit that I did this, because we are afraid. We have fear, that we're not going to be forgiven. We have fear that, things are not going to be the same. We have fear that we're going to be mistreated, etc., etc. But, I have experienced the other side of the coin as well. When I confessed my faults, when I confessed my sins to another person or to God, there's blessing and there's forgiveness, and I feel like I can move on, and I don't have that burden over me. So it's important that we confess our sins. It's important that we confess our mistakes. We all make them. We're all in it together. And if anybody is not forgiving, then that's on them, right? We have confessed, and the other person is not forgiving. Then all we can do is pray for them, and that's it. All right. Well, I hope you have a good day. I hope you have a good rest of your day, rest of the week, and we will see you soon.